Simon & Schuster Audio presents This Is Home, a novel by Lisa Duffy. Read by Renata Friedman and Emily Zeller.
Prologue. After John left, Quinn would lie awake at night and picture the look of shock on his face. The way he had woken up from the nightmare and stared at her as if she were a stranger in the bed next to him, instead of his wife, the woman he'd known since they were kids, teenagers with dreams and hopes, wants and desires. Perhaps her look mirrored John's. He'd come home from the war a different person, a stranger to her, someone she moved around carefully, gently, as if he were a bomb, ready to explode. Of course, there was the PTSD, a medical explanation for what Quinn thought of in simpler terms, an imaginary switch inside John's body that flipped suddenly and without warning, and lit up the spaces inside of him that were dark and wounded and afraid. Quinn thinks of the days when they were first married, and she was pregnant with twins. She'd picked out names, even though she was only in her first trimester. Matthew and Michael Ellis for boys, Michelle and Melissa Ellis for girls. She'd choose somehow if they got one of each, but only the M mattered. Me and me is what they'd call each other. Their initials. They'd think it was a coincidence, but she had planned it, dreamed it. Imagine coming into the world with someone who looks like you, someone who fills the space next to you as you grow. When Quinn miscarried in the 11th week, she told John she couldn't imagine anything more devastating in this life. Looking back now, she thinks of how naive she'd been. How wrong. The sound of a trumpet fills the air around her. A folded flag is handed to her by a man dressed in a uniform. But under his cap she sees the smooth skin of his face, the wisp of hair on his upper lip, and she realizes he is just a boy. A boy just like John had been. She wants to take off his cap, loosen his tie, and smooth the hair back from his forehead. She wants to tell him to take off that uniform, to give her that damn gun. She wants to lean forward and whisper in his ear, "Run." Instead, she takes the flag and presses it against her chest to keep her heart from slipping out.
1. Libby.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?